What's happening, family? It's Cat Sports again. Back for another afternoon with my people. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're just a group of people that love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a channel or a podcast or anything like that. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Justin James, hashtag JBT. AJ64 in the building. Salute AJ64. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Storian. This is the Friday afternoon edition. How's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? Let's welcome AJ64 into the Cast Sports family. Well, you know, if it's 2 o'clock on a weekday, it's Cast Sports the Box Storian. Today is Profile Day. Every Friday we profile a former boxer. Today it's going to be the Rocky Maciano. Okay? That's who we're going to be talking about today. To finish off a big week. How's everybody doing? We got boxing tomorrow. I'm going to go over the cards briefly when I get started about 2:30. Give a few more of my people time to get in here. But salute to AJ64, Justin James, and Miss Cash, Hashtag JBT in the building so far. Aunt McQueen. What's happening, Aunt McQueen? Salute. How are you this Friday afternoon? And stop by to hear about the Rocky Maciano, retired 49-0. Okay. Only heavyweight champion to stop every man he faced in his championship fights. Every one of them. Okay. 6 title defenses. Stopped all of them. Well, he did have 1 decision, but he had a rematch with that guy and he stopped him. He was the champion. I guess he had the rematch because he didn't stop him the first time. He said, oh no, you're not going to get away that easy. But we're going to talk about it. But welcome aboard, everybody. Good to see everyone on a Friday afternoon. Next Friday, we got a card, top-ranked card. Oscar Valdez. I forgot who he was fighting, but we got a female undisputed fight on the card. Tanisha Estrada, I believe. I forgot who she was fighting against. Yeah. But that's The Rock right there on the screen, delivering Susie Q to Jersey Joe. Yeah, that was what he called his right hand, Susie Q. And you're going to see a lot of Susie Q in this slide presentations I got for you today. Yeah. That's the one that put Jersey Joe out right there, too. Wow. Like he put his lips on the side of his face, don't it? But we're going to talk about it. Hey, welcome. Good to see you, AJ64. Hope you stick around and enjoy the show. Just talking to boxing history over here and other aspects of the sport. I talk about different types of boxing styles and punches and, footwork, all kinds of stuff. Promotional companies, sanctioning bodies, trainers, referees, judges. Because, the main part of it is when the 2 people get in the ring and mix it up. But that's just part of it. And that's where I come in at. I bring you everything else. 2 to 4 every day. They call me the box historian. Not a historian. You got to see Thomas Hill to find out the difference. He gave me the name. He told me the difference one time, but it was a whole big paragraph. I got it written down somewhere. Yeah, but I'm a box historian. I'm sure there's other box historians around the world somewhere. Gotta be. I can't be the first one. I gotta ask the mayor of YouTube that too, Thomas Hill. He'll probably be along. But we're going to get started about 2:30. I always give about 10 minutes, 3 more people time to come in. Get this good history lesson. See Justin James, hashtag JBT in the building. And don't forget, everybody, tomorrow is the first JBT meeting at 1. Everybody's welcome. You got to let Jay Hardcore somebody know so he can send you the link tomorrow if you're interested. Yeah. It's going to discuss some things. Where this JBT is going, where we want to go. Good organization to be a part of. I'm proud to be a part of it. We got some good channels. Jay Hardcore, so far. Jay Hardcore, Just Do Boxing. Well, Just Do Boxing is not officially JBT, but he networks with us. Put it that way, yeah. And he don't know it, but he's JBT. Okay. The Rise Podcast. They closes the day out for the JBT. Me, Cash Sports, Little Cash Sports. Yep, I'm a part of it. They let me hold on to their coattails and go down the highway. Casual's Corner, Aunt McQueen's Casual's Corner. Because you haven't watched the fight until you watch one after watching the Casual's Corner. Okay. And we got Remo. We got a fashion show. Yeah. You don't know what you might not find in the JBT. Yeah. There's Just Do Boxing right there. I just spoke him up. He caught me talking about him. Salute to Just Do Boxing, the voice. And that's who I'm warming you up for right there. Just Do Boxing. He comes on at 4 o'clock and builds and builds and builds. Salute to Just Do Boxing, the voice in the building. Yeah, we're going to talk about The Rock today, man. Yeah. Suzy Q. See him putting Suzy Q on Jersey Joe Walcott right there. Yeah. Suzy Q was a bad punch, too. That was a hook there. See him coming across with it, got him right across the chin. Jersey Joe didn't have anywhere to go but out, man. Look at that. And Jersey Joe was a hit on all 3 judges' cards at that time. Yep. Cruising. Comfortably leading. 8-4 on 1. I think it was the 13th round, going 15 then, right? After 12, it was 8-4 on 1. Another one was 7-4 with 1 round tied, and another one was 7-5. So Rock pretty much had to either get a knockout or win the last 3 rounds. Okay. And Rock is one of those punches. You can be leading, but you got to be on your guard every minute, every second against The Rock, because he slipped Suzy Q in there on you. That's it. And after the referee got finished counting, Jersey Joe was still on the mat, out. Yeah. The Rock, Rocky Marciano, bad man. Now, of course, he caught Jersey Joe. He was 38 years old. But hey, he got in there, didn't he? That ain't Rock's fault he was 38 years old. Rock just did what he was supposed to do, right? Got him out of there with old Suzy Q. See her? See Suzy Q? Coming right across that chin. Hook. Yeah, Rock was relentless, man. Relentless fighter. And had not an orange chin, he had a steel chin. Look at it. It looks steel. Yeah. Rock had one of the greatest chins in the history of the sport. So we're going to find out about it. But how's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? We got the voice in the building. Got attentive Aunt McQueen in here. Justin James. Hashtag JBT. AJ64. Miss Cass in here. We're going to have a good time today. I'm going to talk about these fights first tomorrow. You know how I do, just a brief preview. Who's fighting? And it's over in the UK. One of those places over there. I'm going to do the venues show Monday. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but it was a lot of research. I need the weekend to get ready for that because I only got like 3 venues done. So I'm going to do a history on them. What kind of other things go on at the venue, and then go over some of the historic fights that been at each one. I ought to do like 10 venues. That's going to be Monday. And I got something big coming too. Starting toward the end of next week, I'm going to, you know how I did the series of the weight divisions, came all the way down through all of them? I'm going to go through the decades now, starting in the 20s, probably the 20s, well, 1900. And I'm going to go through each day, a different decade, go like a history of the decade, and some of the top fighters that fought in that decade, some of the top fights that happened in that decade. Yeah, that's going to start next Thursday. I got another big week planned for you next week. You'll see. Yeah. See, Miss Cass is the brains behind this outfit. I'm just the brawn. I do the leg work. She does the thinking. And together, we come up with some pretty good stuff, I think. Yeah. But yeah, another big week. But we got to finish this one first with The Rock. Yeah. And Jose Zepeda is fighting tomorrow. He's fighting, who is Jose fighting again? I was just looking at it because I'm going to go over it in about 5 minutes. I know Lonnie Lee will be here at 2:30. You probably, he's Got like 7 minutes left. I know he ain't doing no work. He been clock watching for the last hour. Friday, that last hour, no work's getting done. Just looking at that clock, waiting to get out of there and start the weekend. Well, the weekend start for me before you even get there on Friday. No work's getting done on Friday. So Lana, you'll be in a couple minutes. Zapata is fighting. What's the guy's name? Dalton Smith. Yeah, Dalton Smith. It's over in the UK. I don't know exactly where it is, but yeah. Smith is a British fighter, UK fighter. He hadn't been beat yet, though, so it should be a pretty good matchup with Jose. Yeah, it's boxing. So, and that's what we do. We watch boxing. So that's what we got tomorrow. But don't forget, next week, the Ball Fathers give us Friday again. What's that, like 4 Friday cards? 4 or 5 we had this year? Plus, we had a few Thursdays. And we got Pro Box next week. We're going to be living large next week. Yeah. Next week is a Pro Box week. I think Pro Box is going to go there every week eventually. Yeah. Upward mobility. You know how they say it. Al Booger in the building. I told you my people is coming. About 5 more minutes, we're going to get busy. What's up, Al Booger? Talking about The Rock today. See him on the screen delivering Susie Q to Jersey Joe Walcott. That's the name of his right hand, Susie Q. You're going to see a lot of Susie Q today. I got a slide presentation of all his championship fights. Yeah. And Jersey Joe couldn't handle Susie Q. He went down and out. That was a punch right there that did it. Right hook. See it? Hook coming across, right across that chin. Bop. Jersey Joe was out. They say he was still asleep after the referee finished counting. I don't even know why the referee counted. He should have just waved that off. Man went down first. He had his arm across the ropes. And he just folded, man. Yeah. You had to be perfect. Rock is one of those fighters where you just had to 15 rounds back then, so it was even longer. You had 3 extra rounds. If it had been 12 rounds, Jersey Joe would have retained his title. But Rock had those 3 extra rounds back then, and he got him in 13. Yeah. Remember, Jersey Joe was ahead on all 3 cards. But that don't mean nothing. When you get your lights put out, you can be throwing a shutout. And Rock just about needed that knockout. He still could have pulled it out winning 13, 14, and 15, but it wasn't likely that he was going to do that because Jersey Joe was boxing beautiful. But all it takes is one. That's all it takes. Is one. And that's all it took. So next weekend is the 30th. Is that that's the Tim Zoo and that Tim Zoo and Tywin Inferno? Was that next weekend? I think it is. Rolly Pitbull, right? And we got a card on Friday too. So we are really going to be living large next weekend, if I'm correct. I believe I am. Devin and Ryan next month. A lot of people think we're not going to get that one. I think we will. Ryan will be ready. Let's look at this card tomorrow and get into this show. From the UK, somewhere over there. Might be one of those arenas I'm going to talk about Monday. Like that. I know it's not Wembley. Or what is it? The O2 Manchester Arena, better known as the AO York Hall. I didn't pay attention when I was, looking through the fights. That card this morning. I didn't pay attention. Didn't really pay attention to the arena. I should have. Okay, it's at the Utilita Arena in Sheffield, England. Utilita Arena, Sheffield, England. Okay, there we go. Cass. Yeah, that's where Cal Brook is from, right? Sheffield, I believe. Where's old Cal at now? Enjoying his retirement. He got his big fight. He got his big win over Amir Khan and went on into the sunset. All that trash Amir talked, he got stopped. And it was kind of early too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we get ready to do this. That's where it's at right there. Utilita Arena, Sheffield, over there in the UK. Now, the main event is Dalton Smith versus Jose Zepeda. Okay. Now this is at super lightweight, 140. Now I don't think it's for a title. I know Dalton Smith holds the British and Commonwealth titles or something like that. Usually, normally non-UK fighters don't even, I've never heard of a non-UK fight for any of them, so no, I don't think any titles on the line. But a good super lightweight matchup. Yeah. Smith, like I said, he's 15-0. Oh, he's a former British super lightweight champion. Okay, former. So definitely no belts on the line. Smith is 27 years old. His last fight, he knocked out Sam Maxwell. That was in July. He has the Commonwealth title, but it's not on the line. Okay. Remo in the building. Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. What's up, Remo? How are you today? This is the profile day. Gonna be the Rocky Maciano. Like I'm telling everybody else, Remo, you see him on the screen delivering Suzy Q, don't you? Suzy Q caught Jersey Joe right in the chin. And he went to sleep. Yeah. Off of that shot right there. See? Looked like he moved his lips to the side of his face. Mm-hmm. Man didn't have no choice but to go to sleep. Shot like that. But yeah, Dalton's last fight, he knocked out Sam Maxwell. That was in July. And that's when he won the Commonwealth title, okay? Now his opponent, Jose Zepeda, he turned pro in 2009. And he has fought for lightweight and super lightweight titles many times. And he's 2-2 in his last two fights, right? His last four fights, 2-2. And he lost his last fight to Richardson Hitchens in September, remember? And he was fighting, that fight was for the IBF North American super lightweight title. See? Just another way of getting some sanctioning fees or somebody. Just put the North American in front of it. And then invent another one, put the South American in front of it. Just get some more sanctioning fees. Mm-hmm. Told you, I checked last year, of the 17 weight divisions for the men, there was 80-something champions. For the women, there was 60-something. So 34 weight division combined, men and women's boxing, almost 150 champions. Ridiculous. But they got this type of stuff. IBF North American champion. What is that? North American champion. Where's Zepeda from? South America somewhere? But anyway, the co-main is a world championship fight between the women. Okay, it's who is it? I had it written down. It's Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper. Okay, this is a welterweight division. WBO welterweight title. Sandy Ryan is the titleist. She's defending against Harper. Okay. And Ryan's coming up. She only has one loss. She's turned pro in 2021. And she beat Marie Pierre Collet in 2023 to win this belt last year. Now she's coming off a very controversial split decision draw to Jessica McCaskill. That was in her last fight. That was a unification in September. I forgot which one McCaskill had. But it was a draw, so they both kept the belts. And Sandy Ryan felt she did enough to win. But, the judges didn't. Most of the people watching thought she did enough too. But the key was the judges didn't. So, no belts changed hands. It was a draw. I don't know why they're not running it back. Right? Unification fight, you had a draw. Why are you not running it back? I don't understand it. Mike Masick in the building. What's up, Mike? You see The Rock on the screen. And it's Friday. So The Rock on the screen plus Friday equals he's the profile today. Yeah, like I was telling everybody else, he's just delivering Suzy Q to another victim. A lot of them fell victim to Suzy Q. We got 6 of them today. Well, that's one of them right there. Yeah. Because he did give Jersey Joe a rematch. That was nice of him. Well, Jersey Joe was the champion, so, back in them days, it was automatic. It wasn't automatic, but it normally happened. You take the champion's title, you give him a rematch. Because you want to prove it wasn't a fluke. I beat you, and I'll beat you again. Of course, the champion wanted the opportunity to get his belt back, so yeah. Mm-hmm. What's this Ringo talking about? Ringo said a drink, no chaser, no ice. Wow. I got a cooler right here. No chaser, no ice. Just a straight sprung off ice cooler. Well, I guess it is ice, sprung off ice. Remo, you just made me take a drink of it. It's cold too. Okay, now Sandy Ryan. Her opponent, Terry Harper. Terry's got just one loss in 15 fights. They both just had one loss. Now, Terry turned pro in 2017. Called herself the Belter. Now, she did hold the WBC Super Featherweight title, but she lost it. AB took it from her. AB stopped her. Yeah. But she's bounced back with 3 straight wins. Okay. And she actually is the super welterweight champion. But this is for welterweight. Okay. She's also coming off a draw. Both women coming off a draw. She's coming off a draw against Cecilia Brækhus, the veteran. That was a unification matchup too. So both these women are coming off a unification fights because Terry holds the junior super welterweight champion, but she's going for welterweight in this fight. And Sandy holds the welterweight. Both of them coming off unification fights that were draws, but neither one of them ran it back. They're fighting each other. I don't get it. I mean, it should be mandatory. 2 champions unifying and you have a draw. It should be automatic run back, right? You had a stressful day at work, Remo? Okay. Well, take that drink and sit back and chill. Listen to Cash Sports. Check out some history too. You'll be okay by 4 o'clock. And then The Voice coming on. You'll definitely be okay by 6. I'm going to lead you right into The Voice. And you'll be by 6 o'clock. All that stress to be gone, bro. Guarantee it. Guarantee you. I guarantee you. Okay? Now, elsewhere on the card, pretty big card. We got Ismail Davis versus Troy Williamson. They're super welterweights. Okay. Davison trying to protect his 12-0 record. No belts at stake. Okay. And then we have James Flint versus Campbell Hatton. Ricky Hatton's son back in there. Super lightweights. I don't see much for him there. Or welterweight, you know. This killer, especially a super lightweight. Wow, Campbell, you're in a tough spot. And this is no belts at stake. Campbell's 14-0 though. Yeah. Time for him to start stepping it up a little bit, Yeah. And then we have a pretty big card. Giorgio Viziali versus Sergio Otabay. Lightweights. Couple of prospects. Okay. So, of course, no belts at stake. Viziali just turned pro in November. He's 2-0. He had a decorated amateur career. UK fighter. Bunch of UK fighters on here. Emmanuel Buttigieg versus Bartolomé Stryzek, super welterweight division. Okay. No belts at stake. Another couple prospects. Yeah. Buttigieg just turned pro in December, and this is his third fight. Okay. You had the prospects do it. And Stryzek just turned pro in May. Stryzek is 2-2. Buttigieg won his first two fights. And finally, they got Conan Murray to be announced. Yeah, I know he knows his opponent by now because the weigh-in is today. Gotta know his opponent by now. But that's the card tomorrow. In Oko, Nicole Livas versus Peter Merga, super bantamweight. Two more prospects. Well, Merga is 7-2, but he turned pro in 2017, so he hadn't been fighting that much. 9 fights in 7 years. Wow. And Stryzek is 2-0. I mean, Livas, Stryzek, he's 5-0. He turned pro in 2022, a couple years ago. And that's it. That's the card tomorrow. Okay. Doing some boxing somewhere else, but I don't know where it is. But I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Yep. Oh, I thought Al Booker had JBT behind his name. He was talking to Remo. But don't forget the first JBT meeting is tomorrow. Get in touch with Jay Hardcore if you want to attend so he can send you the link. Okay. I don't even have the link yet, but yeah. If you want to be a part of that, you don't have to have a podcast or anything. Anybody is welcome. All ideas are welcome. Okay. So keep that in mind. 1 o'clock tomorrow. Get in touch with J H Hardcore. H stands for Hangout. And he'll put you down with, the details. I don't even know them myself. Okay. I'm just one of the little guys of the JBT. Riding along, holding on to their coattails. The Voice, J Hardcore, and the Rise podcast. They pulling me along down the road behind them. Okay. So I'm small potatoes in this JBT. Okay, you got to talk to J Hardcore, somebody to get the details. Right? Okay, let's get ready to talk about The Rock. Yeah. This is going to be good. The Rock is the only heavyweight champion to ever retire undefeated, 49-0. Then, of course, Floyd went to 50-0. But there's a guy that's 51-0 by the name of Ricardo Lopez, who fought at 105. But he had one draw, so I guess Floyd looked at that as a blemish and felt he didn't have to go to 52-0. Now, if Ricardo would have had that draw, I guarantee you Floyd would be 52-0. But yeah, Ricardo was 51-0 with one draw. Yeah. But Rock was 49-0. Okay. And he, I think he's tied with Joe Louis for the highest knockout percentage in championship fights. We're going to get into it. I'm trying to pull up the chat. So, because the laptop is like 10 minutes behind. The phone is right up to date. And I got it. So, because the laptop is like 10 minutes behind. Turn it down, Cass. Okay, there we go. Light's looking good. Oh, I'm going to get 30 today. Okay. Where did he start at, Rock? Right there. The life and career of Rocky Marciano. Okay. Everybody okay this Friday afternoon? Get ready going to the weekend. Lonnie Lee must have worked late today. He's not in here yet. Wow. Anybody see Lonnie Lee's name in here yet? I don't. See Mike Mason, Remo, Al Booger, AJ64, Ant McQueen, Just Do Boxing, Chris Cash, Justin James, but I don't see no Lonnie yet, but he'll be along. So let's get started. Okay. I talked to William Old School yesterday. I was wondering where he was at. He left a message on my comments on my live yesterday, so I dropped my number in there. He called me back like 2 minutes later. Yeah. Talked for a minute. Told him, come on back, man. I don't know what's going on. You know, I like to see the brother come back, but we'll see what happens. But life and career of Rocky Marciano. Rocco Francis Maciano. That was his real name. He born September 1st, 1923. Died August 31st, 1969. Just 46 years old. I'm going to talk about that too. He's better known as Rocky Marciano. His actual name was Maciano, but he changed it to Rocky Marciano. I'll tell you that story too in a little while. He was an American professional boxer, right? Competed from 1947 to 1955. Now, he held the World Heavyweight Championship from 1952 to 1956. So now you might say, well, Cass, you just said he competed from 47 to 55, so how can he hold the championship from 52 to 56? What happened was, his last fight was in 1955, but he didn't officially retire until 56. So he competed through 55, but he still held that belt until 56 when he actually retired. So that's why that's like that, okay? So he was the actual champion until 56, but he stopped competing in 55, right? And he remains right now to this day the only heavyweight champion to finish his career undefeated. Okay? Only one to finish undefeated. Nobody else. You might say, well, we got both the heavyweights with the 4 major belts are both undefeated, but they're not retired yet. So, yeah. And one of them getting ready to get a loss. Well, it could be a draw. But I heard it was a rematch both ways, so we're not going to have 2 draws. Suppose those 2 fights end up 1-1. They got to have a trilogy, man. Got to have a trilogy. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just say that's it. Just leave it like that. Wouldn't that be something? You know, end up tied up and just leave it tied. That would not be right, man. You know what I mean? That would not be right. Okay. I like looking at him delivering Suzy Q. Okay. Now, continuing. His 6 title defenses were against Jersey Joe Walcott. He was the man that he originally took it from, right? Jersey Joe. Give me. Roland. Where am I? They gotta get me a marker or something. Roland LaStarza. Okay. Ezzard Charles. He even beat Ezzard Charles for the title and gave him a rematch. Because guess what? Rocky had stopped everybody in his title defenses, so Ezzard, the first fight, went the distance. So he gave him a rematch and stopped him. I guess he gave him the rematch because he wanted to. He said, I stopped everybody else, I'm going to give you the rematch and stop you. But yeah, Ezzard Charles twice. Salute Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More. Everything work out okay for you, bro? Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More in the building. Okay, Ezra Charles. Okay, Don Cockel. That was his fifth title defense. And of course, the Mongoose, Archie Moore, was his last title defense. The Mongoose, there you go. Archie Moore. See, Susie Q. I told you. See a lot of Susie Q. Susie Q. Susie Q. Susie Q. Susie Q. All his stop, all his heavyweight fights. Susie Q was right there. See? Oh, Susie Q. Okay. Yeah, he had 6 title defenses. Okay. Won all of them, retired undefeated. Now, his nicknames were the Brockton Blockbuster or the Rock from Brockton, but he was most commonly known as the Rock or Rocky. Okay. Simply the Rock or Rocky. Now, he was known for his relentless fighting style. Just relentless, man. Okay? Just ask Jersey Joe Walcott about his relentlessness. Relentless fighting style. Formidable punching power. Stamina. Okay? And exceptionally durable chin. Not durable chin, exceptionally durable, man. He had one of the best chins in the history of boxing. Okay, look at it. It looks durable. Okay. He had a steel chin, not iron, steel. Okay, look at it. Looks durable, man. I mean, it's a lot of it to hit, but it looks durable. That was a beautiful punch he caught Jersey Joe with, though. And Jersey Joe was winning on all 3 judges' cards at that point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, good, Bruce Gas. I'm glad you enjoyed, bro. Hope you enjoyed, man. Yeah. You won it, okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exceptionally durable chin. Okay. Now, The Rock is considered one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Of all time. There we go. I got something to keep my place with. One of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, man. Yeah. And he remains the only boxer, like I told you before, to have stopped every opponent he ever faced for the world heavyweight title. The only one. Everybody he faced for the title, he stopped. Now, he went the distance with Ezra Charles the first time, but he gave Charles a rematch, and he stopped him the second time. Okay? I don't even know why he gave the rematch, because he was the champion when he beat him. Like I said, probably because he went the distance. He said, I got to give you this rematch because I didn't stop you. You got to meet Susie Q in this second fight. Ezra Charles met Susie Q in that second fight, yeah. Yes, he did. Did he? Did he? Did he ever meet Susie Q in the second fight? Okay, now, yeah. Stopped every fight box he faced in championship fights. Right, like I was saying, he's tied with Joe Louis for the highest knockout rate in world heavyweight title fights. 86%. Okay. 86%. Him and Joe Louis. to this day. They have the highest knockout rate in heavyweight championship fight. Okay. And he has a career knockout percentage of 88%. Well, 87.8, so I'd round it off to 88. 88%, right? 87.8, that's 88%. And that is one of the highest in heavyweight boxing history also. Okay. So the guy just powerful, man. I think he was like in the top 10. Oh, here it is. He is ranked number 14, not in the top 10. Number 14 in Ring Magazine's list of the 200 greatest punchers of all time. Number 14 ain't bad at all. Look at all the heavyweights out there. Number 14. He's ranked number 14 of all time. I told you Lonnie Lee was coming. There's Lonnie Lee. What's happening, Lonnie Lee? You've been getting off late these last couple of days, bro. But you're here. And it's the weekend. Good to see you, Lonnie. Welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, the Box Story. You didn't miss much. We just started. My pen stopped right. It stopped writing on Lee. I got Lonnie in, but I got another pen. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. Can't forget that JBT. And remember, Lonnie, we're having the first JBT meeting tomorrow. You're welcome to attend. You got to get in touch with J Hardcore and get the link if you want to attend. It's 1 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. Now back to the Rock. But salute Lonnie Lee, everybody in the building, off work, ready for the weekend. Good to see you, Lonnie. Salute. Yeah, the Rock is number 14 out of 100. So that ain't too shabby at all. Now let's take a look at his early life. Okay. Well, like I was saying, he was born Rocco Francis Maciano. And that's right, because I got the little pronunciation thing to do it for me. Rocco Francis Maciano. Maciano, that's good for Cash Sports. He was raised on the south side of Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay. Father's name was Perino Maciano. His mother was Pasqualina Picciotto. Okay, the butchering starts. Both of his parents were immigrants from Italy. His father, time for the butchering. His father was from Ripa, Tiatina, Abruzzo, while his mother was from San Bartolomeo in Galdo, Campania. Okay. Now, The Rock had two brothers, Louis, a.k.a. Sonny, and Peter. And he had three sisters, Alice, Concetta, and Elizabeth. Now, when The Rock was about 18 months old, he contracted pneumonia, and he almost died from it. Yeah. Almost died at 18 months old. We would have never got none of this. The Rock, man. But he pulled through. Booker, you get ready to cut somebody, man. Damn. What's up with all this knife? What? Be in boxing news, Rob. J Hardcore's chat. The Friday Night Hang On. What's going on out, Booker? All the knives in here. Oh man. Okay. Let's salute Al Booker. What's up with you today, my brother? Glad to see you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Yeah, at 18 months old, he contracted pneumonia and almost died from it, man. Yeah. Glad he pulled through. Now, in his youth, he worked out on homemade weightlifting equipment, okay? He used a stuffed mail bag that hung from a tree in his backyard as a heavy bag, okay? And later on in his life, he was a client of Charles Atlas. Charles Atlas, right? Isn't that like the conditioning guy or weightlifting guy or something? Charles Atlas, yeah. Yeah, but he had an old mail bag stuffed. I don't know what he stuffed it with, but he had it hung up in a tree in his backyard and used it as a heavy bag. Okay, it must have worked because the man number 14 on the list of 100 greatest punchers of all time, and he had a 88. What did I say? 88% knockout rate for his career. So yeah, that mailbag must have worked out pretty darn good, right? Now he attended Brockton High School, where he played both baseball and football. Now, however, he was cut from the school baseball team because he had joined a church league team, violating a school rule forbidding players from joining other teams. You could only play on the baseball team at the school, so they cut him. They cut the rod. Yeah, Tony Atlas. Yeah, that's the first thing came to mind. Al Booker was Tony Atlas. Yeah, but Charles Atlas, that name sounds vaguely familiar in conditioning, the conditioning field or something like that. Tampa Tommy probably would know. Yeah. And then The Rock dropped out of high school after finishing the 10th grade, okay? Yeah, after finishing the 10th grade. Then when he dropped out of school, he worked as a chute man on a delivery truck for the Brockton Ice and Coal Company. Also worked as a grave digger, a railroad layer, and shoemaker. Yeah. He also was a resident of Hanson, Massachusetts. And the house he lived on still stands on Main Street in Hanson, Massachusetts. Yeah. Okay. Now, in March of 1943, Rocky was drafted into the United States Army for a term of 2 years. He was stationed in Swansea, Wales, where he helped ferry supplies across the English Channel to Normandy. It's in some dangerous territory over there in Normandy because Hitler wasn't playing, man. Yeah. Wow, Rock. Glad he made it. Damn. He almost died at 18 months, then he was in World War II. Wow. After the war ended, he completed his service in March 1946 at Fort Lewis, Washington. Okay. Take a quick look at his amateur career. Didn't have too much of an amateur career, okay. He had blue collar work of facts, Remo. Back. Very versatile guy. Now, his amateur record was 8-4. Like I told you, he didn't have much of an amateur career. And while he was awaiting discharge from the military, he represented the Army and won the 1946 Amateur Armed Forces Boxing Tournament. Yeah. That's when he, started realizing he had it as a boxer. Now, his amateur career was briefly interrupted. March 17, 1947, he had one pro fight in the middle of his amateur career, right? He fought at the Valley Arena Gardens of Holyoke, Massachusetts. And he fought up against the local fighter named Lee Epperson. He stopped him in 3 rounds. Then in an unusual move, Rocky returned to the amateur ranks, okay? Fought one pro fight, came back to the amateur. Very unusual. But The Rock did it. Okay. So then, we're up to 1947. Get ready to turn pro. Now, he returned to the amateurs, and he got out of the service. He fought in the Golden Gloves All East Championship tournament in March 1948. He was controversially beaten by a guy named Coley Wallace. And then in 1948, he continued to fight throughout the spring. And he competed in the AAU Olympic trials, and that was held at the Boston Garden, world famous Boston Garden, right? And he scored a knockout in his first fight, but he hurt both his hands during that fight, and he wasn't able to continue. He had to withdraw from the tournament. Yeah. And he had just got a knockout in his first fight. Everything was looking good. Yeah. That was Olympic trials. So he had to withdraw. Okay. And that was his last amateur fight. That one where he was trying out for the Olympics and hurt his hand. That was his last amateur fight. Now in late March, he didn't turn pro right away. In late March 1947, him and this was before that was in wait a minute, let me see. Got my date backed up. 48. He fought in the All East Golden Gloves tournament. Okay. Yeah. I got a little ahead of myself right there. Really should have. This is still in 47. That happened later. Okay. Sorry about that. But in late March 1947, Rocky, but he is out of the military at this time, okay? He's out of the military. Rocky and some of his friends traveled to Fayetteville, North Carolina to try out for the Fayetteville Cubs, which was a minor league team for the Chicago Cubs professional baseball team, right? And Rock lasted about 3 weeks before he got cut. And then he traveled around because, they had the spring trainers down south in the warm places, Florida. He traveled around a couple cities trying out for other teams, but didn't catch on to anybody. So he returned back home to Brockton. That's when he started his boxing training and got his team together. He trained with his longtime friend, Allie Colombo, Al Will, and Chick Will Jellis served as his managers, and Charlie Goldman was his trainer and teacher, and that was his team. Charlie Goldman was his trainer and coach, teacher, whatever you want to call it, right? So let's move on up to his professional career, okay? Move on up to his professional career. But I do think I had my date wrong. I think that was 1947 when he, that Golden Gloves tournament where he hurt his hands. I said 48. I believe that was 47. Sorry about that. Yeah. 1947. Because it had to be 47 because he turned pro in 47, right? Yeah. It had to be 47. My bad. That was my third mistake for this year. Okay. I'm glad the mayor of YouTube ain't in here. He would take my title from me. Is everybody okay this Friday afternoon? Ready for the weekend? Living for the weekend. Okay. Now, yeah, ready to just take a look at Rocky's early professional career now. Okay. Now remember, he already had one professional fight in the middle of his amateur career. That was very unusual. He fought some amateur fights, then he fought one professional fight, then he went back to the amateurs again. So now he's permanently turning pro. Okay. Let me see something real quick now. Okay, yeah. He permanently turned pro in 48, but I said 47 earlier because he had that one pro fight in 47. So technically he did turn pro in 47. But permanently for good was 1948. Remember that fight against Lee Epperson? Yeah, that was the one where he turned pro in the middle of his amateur career. But he began fighting permanently, professionally on July 12, 1988. 1948. Damn, Cass, you really got your dates mixed up. 1988. The man that passed away by 88. July 12, 1948. That night, he got the win over Harry Balizarian. Okay? Now, he won his first 16 fights by knockout. All before the 5th round, right? 9 of them was in the 1st round. So Rocky came on the scene. He came on there running over people, right? First 16 fights by knockout. All of them was inside of 5 rounds. 9 of them was in the 1st round, okay? So Rocky was served notice. The Rock is here, okay? Guy named Don Mogard became the first boxer to go the distance with him. Okay? He won that fight by unanimous decision. But then after that, he went on another knockout streak. Okay? Now, early in his career, he changed the spelling of his last name. Remember, it was Maciano, right? And what happened was one night in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, he was fighting, and the ring announcer didn't know how to pronounce his name. So him and his handler Al Weir decided they're going to make something that they probably could make a little bit easier pronouncement. His handler Weir suggested the Rocky Mac, but Rocky said, "No, man, come on." He changed it to Marciano, which sounded a little bit more Italian, but it was easier than Maciano. He took that one syllable out of it. Marciano, yeah. Okay, that is easier. Marciano, yeah. That's what he decided on. And of course, his nickname Rocky was a Rock, right? Now, after he had that first decision, after 16 straight knockouts, guy went the distance. Then he got 3 more knockouts, right? Then he got another unanimous decision, okay? Then he went on another knockout streak. And, kept winning. Then on October 27th, 1951, he was 28 years old. He took on 37-year-old Joe Louis, right? Joe Louis had no business still fight, but that ain't Rocky's fault, okay? Rocky just did what he's supposed to do. Now, coming into the fight, Rocky was a 6.5 to 5 underdog, right? But he upset Louis in what would be the Brown Bombers' last fight, okay? Rocky retired him, okay? Should have made the one before that his last fight, but he wanted to fight Rocky. And Rocky didn't have the belt then. I think Jersey Joe probably had it then. I don't think Joe Louis didn't have it, because Joe Louis had already retired once. He didn't have the belt. That wasn't a championship fight, right? Yeah, salute, Lonnie Lee. Good to see you. So he upset Joe Louis. Really wasn't an upset, because Rocky was knocking everybody out, right? 9 of his first 16 fights was first round knockouts. So, but it was Joe Louis. So, but if you really look at it, it wasn't really an upset. Rocky should have been favored. After the fight, go back and look at it, right? Yeah, 28 years old, knocking people out left and right. You in there against this 37-year-old former champion, just a shell of himself. Joe Louis probably should have never been favored in that fight, but he was. So anyway, after he upset Louis, he had 4 more fights. Then he got his first title shot, okay? He got his only title shot, because he won it, he never lost. He got his title shot. And the champion at that time was the man on the screen that's getting hit by, what's the name of his punch again? Suzy Q. Getting hit by Suzy Q. Jersey Joe was a champion at the time. He was 29 years old when he got their first shot against Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott was 38, just like Joe Louis. They had a bit of still in the ring. Look at it. Look how old he looked. But he was still in there. That ain't Rocky's fault, right? Hey, he going after the champion. This 38-year-old guy happened to be the one that got it. So, hey. But I mean, he shouldn't still be in the ring. He was the champion. So, hey. And this fight was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on September 23rd, 1952. Okay. Now Walcott dropped Rocky in the first round, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Walcott gonna school this young boy. This guy ain't ready. He was knocking out all them bombs and stuff." Yeah. And Walcott steadily built the points lead, right? In the 13th round, Walcott had a pretty comfortable lead. It was 8-4, because 15 rounds then, right? After 12, it was 8-4 Walcott. Rocky couldn't win on that judge's card because it was only 3 more rounds. One card was 7-4-1. Rocky could have only tied him on that card. So the best Rocky could have done was get a draw if he didn't get a knockout. He needed a knockout to win, because the other card was 7-5. Could have took all 3 rounds and won on that one, but the best he could have got was a draw. He needed a knockout to get the win. And did he get it? That's the punch right there. Okay. In the 13th round, Walcott was using his trademark feints to set up his right hand, but Rocky Suzy Q landed first. A powerful right hook. You can see that hook. See it coming around on that chin? Knocked his lips on the side of his face. They're actually on the side of his face, look. They're not under his nose, they're on the side. Under one eye. And Walcott slumped to his knees with one arm draped over the ropes. Sleep. Like Leo Santa Cruz was, right? He looked like he'd sleep already. He lay motionless long after the referee had finished counting. Why was he even counting? And Rocky became the new world heavyweight champion. At the time, like I said, at the time of the stoppage, Walcott was ahead on all three judges' cards. The best Rocky could do was a draw. Okay, that was the best he could do, was a draw. The Walcott was comfortably leading on all three cards. But like I was telling you yesterday, man, Rock was one of those guys, man. One slip up, that's all she wrote. And there's a slip up right there, Suzy Q. You're gonna give it to see Suzy. Here's Suzy Q again in his first defense. Not you. Come on, man. Yeah, see, Suzy Q again. His first defense was against his first defense. Sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting, man. First defense was against that's a J. Oh, his first defense was against Walcott. He gave him a rematch. Yeah. Yeah. First defense was against Walcott. But guess what? This time he knocked Walcott out in the first round. Suzy Q got to him early in this one. First round. Yeah. So then, this would be his second defense, was Roland LaStarza. Okay. Rocky was something with that right hand, man. Even named it Suzy Q. Okay, Roland LaStarza was his second defense. Yeah. And after building a small lead on the scorecards all the way through the middle rounds, Rocky won the rematch. Yeah, he had fought LaStarza before he had got the belt. Okay, so this was a rematch. And Rocky won by technical knockout in the 11th round. He had fought LaStarza when they both, were coming up through the ranks. And, obviously Rocky won both of them because he retired undefeated. Then he had two fights against Ezzard Charles. Okay? He gave Ezzard two fights. I like that picture. Al Booker says he was a hell of a fighter. Relentless, power, stamina, all that, Al Booker, heart and chin. He had all that, man. All that. Yeah. He had the two main things that keep you in any fight. He had that gas tank in that chin, man, Gas tank in that chin. If you got that, you're going to be in any fight. To the end. Somebody might be washing you or running away on the cards, but you're going to be right there. Remember Vila and Rocy? What did Vila have? Gas tank and chin. So he was able to hang in there. And look what happened in the last round. Rock had that gas tank and chin. Plus the relentlessness, like you said, Al Booker. Power. Heart. Yeah. So, yeah, his next title, he fought Ezzard Charles twice, back to back. Ezzard was a former world heavyweight champion and a light heavyweight legend, Ezzard Charles. Yeah. He was 33 years old when him and Rocky fought, okay? And Ezzard was the only man to go the distance with Rocky in a championship fight, okay, in the first fight. But Rocky came back in the second Rocky got him on points in the first fight, but he came back in the second fight and stopped him in the 8th round. Okay. I don't even know he didn't really have to give him a rematch because he was the champion and he beat the challenger. But yeah, he had to stop him, I guess, and he did it. Then after Ezzard came Don Cockell was next to fight Rocky. Look at that, Susie Q again. Susie Q was bad, wasn't she? Susie Q again. Rock was putting him away, man. Wow. Okay, Don Cockell was nice. UK fighter. And Don Cockell was a European champion at the time. Okay. Rock knocked him out in the 9th round. 9th round stoppage. Then his last title fight was 38-year-old Archie Moore, the Mongoose. Remember the Mongoose? Archie. Yeah, there he is. The Mongoose. Archie Moore. That was his last title fight. September 21st, 1955. Now, it was originally scheduled for September 20th, day before. But because of hurricane warnings, it had to be delayed a day, one day. Now, Rocky was knocked down. Stayed down, took a 4 count, stayed down for a second in the 2nd round. But he recovered and retained his title with a knockout in the 9th round over Archie. Okay, Archie, former light heavyweight great. And that was Rocky's last fight. Okay, it happened in 1955, but he officially retired in 1956. Only 32 years old, 49-0. Yep. April 27th, 1956, 32 years old. He finished his career 49-0. I think he had 44 knockouts. I know it was an 88% knockout rate or something like that. Let me check real quick. I gotta know. I love knockout rates. But yeah, 1956 he retired. So we're gonna go to his life after retirement. What he got into. Life after boxing. Wow, time just flies when you're having fun. I'm gonna check on his knockout rate real quick. Because I wrote down his record. I used to write down the knockout scores, everything. I was rushing. I got in late again this morning. Up half the night doing this stuff. Didn't get much sleep. But hey, I can sleep all weekend. What do I want? Rocky Marciano's box rep, right? How's everybody doing? Ready for the weekend? Got a big one planned? We got the card out of Sheffield, England tomorrow. And probably some cards somewhere else, somewhere. You know. But I guess, what is that? The Zone? I don't even know who's promoting that. 43 knockouts. Okay. He had 43 knockouts. The Rock did. Yeah, so anybody know what channel this fight is on tomorrow? I'm gonna do his knockout rate real quick. They told me 88, so why am I doing it? I believe them. Yeah, that's it. 87.7, but I say 88, I round it off. Okay, his life after boxing. Okay. Now, yeah, 49 and over. Thank you, Al Booker, with 43. Yeah, 43 knockouts. Yep. Yeah, that's right at 88%, almost 90%. Yeah. And he tied with Joe Louis for the best knockout rate in championship fights. I think it was 87. And 88 is one of the highest in heavyweight history, man, for a career. That is excellent. 49 fights. You get your man out of there 90% of the time. That is excellent, man. You know, or 8 out of 10 times you get your man up out of there. Excellent. Now, Rocky considered a comeback in 1959 when Ingemar Johansson won the heavyweight championship from Floyd Patterson. That was on June 26, 1959. But after only a month of training, that was all the training he had done in almost 4 years, Rocky decided against it, right? And never seriously considered a comeback again. Because remember, he was only 32 when he retired. So by 59, he was probably about 35 3 years later. So still not that old, you know. But he decided against it. Okay. Now after his retirement, he entered the world of television. You know, did a little acting and stuff. Yep. And for a brief period, he worked as a referee in wrestling. And he was a good wrestler in high school. Now he continued as a referee and boxing commentator for years. He was a commentator for years. I think he commentating on Ali Joe Louis 1. Not Joe, Ali Sonny Liston 1. Yeah, Rocky was commentating on that one. He was doing the radio. I remember that when I was watching the replay of that fight. Rocky was doing the radio. He commentated for years. Yeah. Yes, he did. And then he also was active in the business field, running the restaurant with a couple of partners. Okay. He had 2 children. He had a daughter, Marianne, born in 1952. She died on June 3rd, 2011, of complications from a respiratory illness. That'd been like 59 years old. That's young for nowadays, 2011. What the technology they got. He had a son, Rocco Kevin, was born in 1968. Now his daughter, Marianne, she had several run-ins with the law in Florida in the 1980s and 1990s. She got arrested and charged with assault and armed robbery. Okay, Marianne, you was a bad girl, Marianne. After previously serving time in prison for cocaine possession. Oh, Marianne, you was a bad girl. But The Rock had passed away. I'm glad he didn't see all that mess from his daughter. He passed away in 1969. In July 1969, shortly before his death, he participated in the filming of the super fight, remember? Maciano versus Ali. The 2 boxers were filmed sparring. Then the film was edited to match a computer simulation of an actual fight between them, each in their prime. Okay, yeah, I remember that. They were sparring, and yeah, I remember that. Okay, now on August 31st, 1969, the day before his 46th birthday, Rocky was a passenger in a small private plane, a Cessna 172, heading to Des Moines, Iowa from Chicago. Now, it was night and bad weather had set in, okay? And the pilot, a guy named Glenn Belts, had only 231 total hours of flying time, 35 of them at night. I wouldn't have been in there with him. Wow. Nighttime bad weather, he only had 35 hours flying at night. That's just a little bit over 1 day, man. No way. And it had no instrument rating at all. Now, when he got up there, they ran into bad weather. Belts tried to land the plane at a small airfield outside Newton, Iowa, you know, shortly before they got to the destination. But the aircraft hit a tree on the way down, miles short of the runway. See, that's why I said I wouldn't have been in there with that guy. He only got 35 hours flying at night, right? I mean, he should have still been in training. But I say he had 231 total, 35 at night, plus his night and plus his bad weather. Wow. Okay. So they hit a tree miles short of the runway. Flying with Rocky in the back seat was Frankie Farrell, 28 years old, the son of organized crime figure Lou Farrell. Yeah, I know you heard of Lou Farrell. Wow, he was in there with a gangster's son. Maciano, Betts, and Farrell were all killed on impact. Now they know that. There was nobody else in there but them. Who told them they died on impact? Huh? Now, Farrell, okay, Marciano was on his way to give a speech to support his friend's son, right? And there was a surprise birthday celebration waiting for him. He had hoped to return in the early morning for his 46th birthday celebration with his wife, okay? He was coming from a dinner in Chicago at STP CEO Andy Bonatelli's home. Wow. 46 years old. Well, 45. It was the day before his 46th birthday. Okay, Rocky is interred in a crypt at Forest Lawn Memorial Cemetery in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. His wife, Barbara Marciano, died 5 years later at the age of 46 due to lung cancer and is entombed right next to him. Okay. Let's look at his legacy a little bit. I know I mentioned a lot of it, but let's look at it. All right, 3:30 on the dot. Yes. Okay, got some link time today. Let's look at his legacy right quick. Okay. Yeah, I had that downloaded today because I know I be blasting y'all. I be listening to the playbacks today. I realize I be blasting y'all out with that music. Damn, Cass. And somebody just put in the chat, turn it down. Bare Knuckles did it. Bare Knuckles told me turn it down one time. And I turned it down. He said, sheesh. Bare Knuckles was a bad boy. And he's back. He was in Jay's chat this week. I don't know why he didn't come in mine. You know, I like the young brother. He knew that Bare Knuckles inside out. It would have been a really good channel for him because he knew it. I talked to him about it. He knew that sport inside out, man. That would have been right in his lane if he would have followed through with that. I think it would have been okay. It would have been definitely a good thing for the JBT. Yeah, because he definitely knew it. I had talked to him about it a few times. Yeah, I knew nothing about Bare Knuckles boxing. And like I was saying, he holds the record with heavyweight Brian Nielsen for the longest undefeated streak by a heavyweight. Okay. He is also the only world heavyweight champion to go undefeated throughout his professional career. Although heavyweight champion Gene Tunney never suffered a defeat at heavyweight and retired as champion, he lost one fight at light heavyweight. So it's a loss. So Gene Tunney couldn't match it. And his longest win streak was 32, with his overall record being 82-1. That was Gene Tunney. Rocky also has the highest knockout percentage of any heavyweight champion in history over the period of a career, with 88. Okay, over his entire career. In his professional career, he was only knocked down twice. The first occurred in the first title fight against Jersey Joe, and remember Archie Moore. I covered both of them. The second was Archie Moore, right? Jersey Joe and Archie Moore, but he got up and won. He always got up and won. Yeah, that reminds me of Kobe Al Booker. The Rise Podcast in the building. The closer. Salute to the Rise Podcast in the building. Yeah, Al Booker. Kobe them really had no business up there because that same day that Kobe was flying, the police had grounded all their helicopters, right? So you know it's bad weather if the police going to ground their helicopters. What you doing up there? I blame it on the pilot. But you know, Kobe paying him all that money. He ain't gonna tell Kobe no. Kobe said, oh, come on, man, let's go. I gotta get there. taking his daughter to some kind of game or something. And look, they never got there. Yeah, but you're right, Al Booker. That does remind of the same situation. But salute to the Rise podcast in the building. The closer, like I said, for the JB2. Okay. Always save the best for last, you know. Where's my notepad? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, the Rise, you missed the profile is open there. Doing his legacy. It was on the Rocky Marciano today. By the way, next week is going to be the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes, next Friday. Okay. Let me finish this legacy I was doing on The Rock. Right quick. Where was it? Yeah. He only got knocked down twice by Jersey Joe and Archie Moore. I've covered both of those. Now, despite his perfect record and retiring as champion, Rocky has sometimes been criticized for the allegedly low quality of opposition he faced during his career. At the time of his first fight with Roland Estarza, some experts believed it was Estarza and not Maciano who deserved the decision. Well, I did not know that. That's some controversy with Rocky. And of course, he fought both Joe Louis and Jersey Joe Walcott when they were well past their prime. But that wasn't Rocky's fault. They were still in there. Plus, Jersey Joe Walcott was 38 years old, but he was the champion when Rocky fought him. So, hey, he was the champion. He's beating everybody else. So you can't call that low quality opposition. He was 38-year-old champion. Okay. Now, Joe Louis, that's another story. He had retired and came back. He should have been gone. But, like I said, it's not Rocky's fault. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. Now, these criticisms notwithstanding, over the decades, Maciano has been ranked highly in several all-time boxing lists. In December 1962, a ring poll of 40 boxing experts placed Maciano as the 7th best heavyweight of all time. That was 1962. Boxing historian Charles Rose, now see, he's a historian. He's not a box historian. Boxing historian, I'm a box historian. Boxing historian Charlie Rose rated Maciano as the 8th best heavyweight of all time in 68. Box historian Cash Sports ranks him like 7 to 10. Heavyweight, let's see, Rocky. I don't know. We got some good heavyweights, man. I'm gonna put Rocky 7. Box historian Cash Sports ranks Rocky as number 7 all time among heavyweights. Okay. All right. And another historian, John McCallum, and writers listed him as the 9th best all time in the division. Okay, I said 7. In 1971, another boxing historian, Ned Fleischer, that he founded Ring Magazine. He was still living in 71. Founded Ring Magazine in 1922. Only 40-something years though. He gave Rocky 10. 7 to 10 is the general consensus, yeah. 1998, Ring ranked him 6th. That's the highest I've seen. Number 6. Wow. And number 12 of the period, 80 best fighters of all weight classes. Ring headed number 12. Wow. That's high praise. Of course, 14 on the 100 greatest punchers. I agree with that. 100 greatest punchers, yeah. And he was named the 5th greatest heavyweight of all time by the International Boxing Research Organization. That's that group of writers, and man, their rankings was trash. I used them one time, man. The IBRO, I think that's a group of writers and record keepers. I think, yeah. They are, yeah. Ooh. ESPN had him 5. Only ones in front of him was Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, and Jack Dempsey. What about Joe Frazier and Foreman and Larry Holmes, who's gonna be their profile next week? Larry Holmes. I don't know. The man went undefeated. He beat everybody. And he knocked out everybody he faced in title fights. So hey. Yeah, he's gotta be up there. Yeah. Yeah, Lonnie, I know. You've been here for a while, Lonnie. Yeah. He came in about quarter up 4, quarter up 3. Now next week, Monday is going to be the venues show. I got 10 venues where we do these fights, have these fights that I'm going to do a little history on them, go over some of the big fights that's been contended in them. Tuesday is going to be, I got 10 of the greatest switch hitters in boxing history. 10 of the greatest switch hitters. Now I might include current fighters in that list, right? You know, yeah. But 10 of the greatest switch hitters. Wednesday is going to be 10 of the greatest power punchers of all time. Power guys. And Rocky will be in that, definitely, no doubt. Rocky will be in that. And Suzy Q was something else, man. I showed you. All 6 of his titles, he had 6 title defenses. I showed you Suzy Q in all of them. Look at them again. That's all we can do. Okay. All right, now. This was the fight where he got the title. Okay? Jersey Joe Walcott. Look at Suzy Q. Got that man lips on the side of his head. Look at that, man. Jersey Joe went to sleep. He was asleep long after the referee stopped counting. Okay? Then, his first title defense. First title defense was also against Jersey Joe. Okay? Then your first title defense was Jersey Joe. And the second title defense was Roland LaStarza. Suzy Q again, look at that. Suzy Q again. The third and fourth title defenses was Ezra Charles. Suzy Q. Oh, Suzy Q. I love you. Suzy Q. Suzy Q again. Told you. So that was the second and third. His fourth title defense was Jersey Joe was the first. That was the third and fourth. His fifth title defense was Billy something. Billy Condell, something like that. I forgot his name. It was Billy. Suzy Q again. Told you. Look at that, man. That man had a bad right hand. Oh, yeah, I got to think about that too, Al Booger. You know? Yeah, he's up there. Top 5, no doubt. No doubt. And then his last title defense was against the Mongoose, Archie Moore. Last fight. Look at that. Suzy Q, I guess. Yeah. Suzy Q. Look at Archie Moore. Yep. You know the man bad when you name your right hand. When you name it. Maciano was a bad man. And next week is going to be Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. Yep. And then, let me finish. Wednesday was going to be the power punches. Now, starting Thursday, like I did the series coming all the way down to the weight classes, I'm going to take each decade, starting in 1900, each day do a different decade. I'm going to do a history of boxing in that decade. I'm going to look at some of the best top fighters from the decade and some of the top fights, starting next Thursday. But of course, then we're going to start with 1900. Then we'll continue with the 19 teens, I guess you call them, 1911 to 1920 on Monday, because we're going to still do the profile on Friday, which is going to be Larry Holmes. But that will start Thursday with the 1900. History of the decade. Going to look at some of the best fighters up from that decade and some of the best fights. and significant events in boxing that occurred during that decade. That's going to be starting next week. Come all the way up to the 90s. Because I don't usually go past the 90s when I'm talking history, because, 2020 years, that's not really history. So, yeah, come all the way up to the year 2000, day by day, just like I did the weight class, okay? Got another series coming. Starting next Thursday. Yep. So look for that next week. And the Eastern Assassin next Friday. What's that, Remo? What's so sad? But yeah, Al Booker, I have to think about that number one, man, because just look, he destroyed them 6, knocked all of them out. His only title fight that went the distance, he went back, gave him a rematch, and knocked him out too. Didn't have to give him a rematch. He must have gave him the rematch to stop him, I guess. Right? Because he gave him the rematch and then knocked him out. Rocky Marciano was a bad man. Yes, he was. And not from just that 49-0. You got to look inside that. Look inside his fights. Man. Now, he got a little knock on him about his competition and thing, and about his resume, because, everybody say, well, Joe Louis was 37 and Jersey Joe was 38. But Jersey Joe was a heavyweight champion. I don't care if he was 68. He was a heavyweight champion. Okay? Top of the division. And The Rock chopped him down. So no, you can't say that. Can't use age. The man was a heavyweight champion. Okay? And like I said, it wasn't Rocky Marciano's fault Joe Louis wanted to still fight at 37. He just got in there and took care of his business. He was the underdog. I don't think after the hindsight is 2020 vision, and after the fight, of course, everybody would say, well, Rocky shouldn't have been the underdog. You had a 28-year-old man fighting a 37-year-old that was just a shell of himself, right? And carrying that Suzy Q around. I got Joe Louis up here too. I thought I had Joe Louis. Suzy Q was getting him too. Gotta tell you, he met Suzy Q. There you go. See? Joe Louis met Suzy Q. He sure did. I didn't even put that up there. Yeah. Joe Louis meets Suzy Q. Suzy Q meets Joe Louis. Look like what's that, an uppercut or something? I don't know. It was the upper something. Yeah. He got Joe Louis out of there. I think it was about the 3rd round. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. But Rocky Marciano, I just like those fighters, back from them eras, man, 20s all the way through 50s. Yeah, I love it. And we're going to do next week, starting next Thursday, we're going to come on through the decades, each one of them, all the way up, day by day. Probably take like 2 weeks. Yeah. But you're going to get some good history. I'm learning too when I'm doing this research, going through these things, man. I'm learning a lot of stuff. Like the King of the Casuals taught me something yesterday. The so-called King of the Casuals, that is. I did not know Zab Judah was really right-handed. He fought southpaw. But the King of the Casuals pointed out yesterday that he's right-handed. Yeah, I did not know that. So I'm learning too. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, especially not, but that guy, Remo, that guy only had 35 hours flying at night. And that's been good weather. And it was a storm and bad weather, man. Wow. They must have wanted to get where they was going bad. You know what I mean? This guy was still like a trainee. He only had 230 hours overall. 35 at night. What was he doing up there with him? I think at least Kobe's pilot was qualified. He just had no business up there. See, when Kobe went up there, man, the police had grounded their helicopters. If the police choppers are grounded, nobody should be up there. Okay? Because the police go up there in emergencies and stuff, and their stuff grounded, everybody should be grounded. But Kobe was rich. And the man ain't gonna tell him no, because that's his bread and butter. Kobe probably said, "Well, you don't take when you fart, I'll find somebody else to do it." So the man went up there. But I still blame the pilot, okay? Because Kobe can't fly no helicopter. All he had to say was no. The police choppers are grounded. We don't have no business up there, right? That's all he had to say. Kobe was tall, but he could find some kind of car he could fit in and drive on over there, man. In a hurry to get his daughter to the game, and they never got there. Terrible. Yeah. But yeah, this guy, Remo, 35 hours at night. He should have still just been like in a training, what they call that thing? Simulator. He should have been still flying in that in some room, simulating flying. He shouldn't have been up there in no storm at night in a storm with 35 hours at night flying, man. That was ridiculous. But Rocky was up there with some gangster riding with him, some gangster's son. So I don't know what was up with that. And I just did the Mafia show Monday, remember? We got The Voice coming up in 10 minutes. And don't forget, tomorrow is the JBT meeting. Anybody want to attend? You don't have to have a show or podcast or anything. Anybody can attend. You don't have to have a JBT behind your name. You got to get in touch with Jay Hardcore and get the link. Or the Rise. I'm small potatoes, like I told you. Not me. You know. I'm just waiting on the link just like y'all is. But yeah, tomorrow, get in touch with Jay. And he will give you the information you need. And we're going to see what's happening in the meeting tomorrow. Yeah. The first official JBT meeting. Saturday, March the what? 23rd. Okay. Anybody with any ideas or anything can make this organization better? Please attend. We need you. We trying to go places, man. We trying to do big things. And we got the tools to do it. You know? We got some big, powerful channels in there. We got heavyweights like the Rides podcast. Just do super heavyweights, man. You know? In this JBT. So yeah, we going places. So just please join us tomorrow, man. You won't regret it. Taking all ideas. I don't have any, but you know, once I sit in the meeting, some might come to mind. But I'll be there. It's on Zoom or something, they said. It's on something. We're gonna have it tomorrow, 1 o'clock, I guess. I think Jay was supposed to go to the doctor today or something, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. D for the win in the building. What's up, D for the win? You missed the Rock, D. It was a good show. Rocky Marciano. He had that punch called Susie Q. Okay. And put Susie Q on Joe Lewis. Ezra Charles. There he is putting Susie Q on Ezra Charles. Jersey Joe. There's Joe Lewis getting Susie Q. The Rock knocked out every one of his opponents that he fought for titles. There's casket. There's Roland Latarze. Why did I keep doing that? Roland Latarze getting Susie Q. There's Ezra Charles getting Susie Q. You know a man is bad when he name his right hand. There's Billy. I forgot his last name already. Billy, was it Cornell? Something like that. But anyway, he's getting Susie Q. Meeting Susie Q. And the last and not least one to meet Susie Q was Archie Moore. Susie Q, I love you. Susie Q. There's Archie Moore getting it. The Rock. Next week is going to be the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. I'm getting ready to get out of the way of the Voice now. Just do boxing. That's who I'm warming you up for. And don't forget, They hardcore supposed to spin the block at 8. Okay. With the Friday night hangout. Okay. Special one. And then at 9 o'clock, the close are going to close it down. None other than the Mighty Rise podcast. Okay. They're going to give us that high-powered boxing talk. You might see not one of the Face of Boxing, Gervonta Davis coaches in there. You might see both of them in there on the Rise podcast. Both of the Face of Boxing coaches might be in there, man. Yeah, that's how the JBT doing it, man. Where else you gonna get the Face of Boxing coaches at on these YouTube streets? Somebody tell me anywhere else. Nowhere but the JBT. Okay. So yeah, Just Do Boxing is next. I'll be back Monday with the Venues show, which was supposed to be yesterday, but that's a lot of work, man. I got 3 of them done, but I'm gonna have it all ready Monday. It's gonna be good. Tuesday is some of the top switch hitters of all time. Wednesday, we're gonna rank the power punches. Rock gonna be in it. Rock is definitely top 5. Al Booker got him 1. I'm kind of leaning that way too. Al Booker, yeah, top 5 for sure. Maybe number 1. I don't know, man. This time a man named his right hand, Susie Q. And then Thursday, we're gonna start the series where I'm gonna go through each decade. Take about 2 weeks and do a history on the boxing in that decade. Some of the top fighters from that decade, some of the top fights. It's gonna be fun. Don't miss it. But once again, it's time to put another Cash Sports in the history books. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. I did. I look forward to this 2 o'clock now. But anyway, where's my notebook at, man? Oh, there it is. D for the win. The closer. The Mighty Rise podcast. Lonnie Lee. Hashtag JBT. Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more up there enjoying that fire laptop he got. Just like the one I got right here. But his is newer. Mike Masick was in the building. Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion, hashtag JBT. I gotta watch the one from Wednesday again because Remo make us wait till next Wednesday. But it's all good. He's gonna pick it up and give us some every day eventually. Watch. Al Booger was in the building. Just Do Boxing, The Voice. Attentive Aunt McQueen from Casual's Corner. Because remember, you have not watched the fight until you watch one after watching a Casual's Corner. Okay. AJ64 was in here for the first time. I hope he stuck around and enjoyed it and come back again. Enjoyed having it. You got Julian Jackson, number 1, Al Booger? Julian Jackson? Over The Rock? Oh, come on, man. Oh, you been listening to D for the win? That's good. Okay. Cool, bro. Appreciate your support. You always somewhere around those D for the win. Big time JBT supporter and member D for the win. Appreciate you, bro. AJ64. Justin James, hashtag JBT. And of course, the brains behind this Cash Sports outfit, Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Okay. I do the leg work and all that, but Miss Cass is the brains behind this outfit. Couldn't do it without her. Salute to Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. I told you, I wake up sometimes mornings on the weekend, Miss Cass in there watching old fights. Yes, I love it. But I appreciate everybody for continuing to rock with my growing channel. I'll be back Monday. I'm going to be working this weekend. But if y'all haven't seen the last of me for today, like I said, you can't get away from me that easy. You're going to see me in the Just Do, or you're going to see me in the Hangout tonight, or you're going to see me over there with the closer on the Rise Podcast putting it down tonight, okay? So until later, everybody still have a great weekend. I'm Cash Sports. I'll see y'all later. Everybody have a great day and a great weekend. I'm out. BN Boxing News, salute, bro. Good to see you. Everybody have a good one.